Yeah, let's get this over with.
Who is this?
Welcome, Vikings fans. This is the FullSkol Podcast.
Let's go!
Forgot about that part. I should just have that on the button. Like hit about 9
Yeah,
times.
yes, yeah. You should have that on a hotkey for sure. Every over and over and over. 9 times. Why would you say 9? 9 times.
which I have to. I got to give credit. A guy Jason here brought up a point, and he didn't say this point, but I connected it, and what was there something else about the number 9? Oh, we only scored 9 points. We scored 9 points and got sacked 9. We had as many points as we had as Sam Darnold got sacked.
Yeah, and we had 9 points twice 2 weeks in a row. We had 9 points, and we got sacked 9 times on.
Bless America. But at least he found the end zone this time.
Yeah, barely. I mean, if it wasn't for Hawk making an amazing catch behind him, I mean, like the pass was terrible. Even that big first down to Speedy somebody across there in that same drive, it was behind him as well, and then Hawk with them.
Yeah, there was one where Speedy would have been absolutely gonzo if he could have got it to him.
Yeah, that's a touchdown for sure. Yeah,
I mean, there's a couple things, and it is an all-team loss, coach included for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, a lot of it does fall on Sammy's shoulders. I mean, I hate to come after him, and so many people are bailing on him, and I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I'm not quite ready to totally bail on him in 2 games, because he got us 14 wins, dude. That 14 wins in the NFL is not an easy thing to do. And we watched him. He made some great plays all season long, some amazing passes all season long, good escapability all season long. It just came crashing down, and now everybody is just kind of adopting that national narrative of Pumpkin Sam or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of we told you's going on. Oh yeah, what's his nuts is just loving life right now. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith just loving life right now.
Yeah,
the dickbags over at Woodward Sports are loving it. God, man, here's the problem.
I don't even follow them, and I don't know why they pop up, but I have to block them because I couldn't. Even,
that is so toxic. But it's just I want to be able to root for the Lions on the way the rest of the way, but I don't know that I can. The fans have just soiled it for me. They've just become so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I just can't. But anyway, I don't want to go off that tangent. Keep talking about this game, but
I think I'm done with football. Honestly, I think I'm done watching all year. I don't know that I watched. I told Joel, I was like, I think I might be done watching football. I might be.
Well, I mean, I might be just because I'm mostly a Vikings fan, anyways. But I do like to just watch football, but
I don't.
Well, there's not really many teams left that I care about. I mean,
I mean,
in a normal year, I would root for the Viking, or the Detroit, because I've kind of always been a closet Detroit fan, but I'm just finding it harder and harder to do that. I do have a dark and twisted team that I can kind of root for. I kind of want the Bills to go to the Super Bowl, but then lose.
Then they'd probably lose to the Lions. That means the Lions are
whatever. But then that gives us a cushion as far as we're not the worst. We're not the losingest team in Super Bowl history. Yeah, so it gives us a cushion, because if we go there and lose, then we're just back to being tied, and that's fine.
For sure. So, well, maybe the Eagles will be. It'd be nice if they lost to the Commanders this weekend. Really, if I watch football, it'll just be to root against Detroit. It'll be like they've become the Packers to me, just purely because of the fan base. Because obviously we hold. I mean, the Packers' hatred is because they always beat us. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, they always beat us. There was, we'd fight with them, and usually we would split, or sometimes they would sweep us. But I don't remember the last time we swept them before this year. That was the first time. And Jordan Love, to that point, they missed. He's not what everybody thinks that he thought that he was. So he's just not. He's
a good quarterback. He's not a Brett Favre, and he's not Aaron Rodgers.
No, yeah, for sure. So at least there's that he won't be, like we were like, oh, great, here come the Packers again. So they're out of the equation for a while. But just because, I mean, like historically, we've always beat the Lions. Everybody's beat the Lions. They've been trashed my entire life. Just and over 2 seasons, it's just they just make me sick. It's because they don't know how to act because they don't know how to win. So that would be, if I watch, it'll be just to pull against whoever's playing for the Lions. I'll be on that ride roller coaster for sure, because I just want them to lose just so I don't have to hear it.
I mean, outside of Philly, there's no other team that I dislike. So like, I don't have any animosity towards the Rams. I don't have the animosity.
Actually, honestly, I guess we could pull for the Rams, because if we lose to the eventual champs, then that's always
does look
something
better.
You know
it does look a little better.
Yeah. The Rams beat us on their way to the Super Bowl, and then they beat the Eagles, and then they beat Detroit, and then and then they went on to win the Super Bowl. So I could pull for McVay, but anyways, I mean, it's a tough one. This is a tough one. Through our history of fandom, we've been through 98, we've been through the Minneapolis Miracle, 09 with Brett Favre, the NFC Championship game. But this one feels a lot like those, just because 14-2, and just so many good things, and
it honestly. I think the Vikings fan base, though, like, I think everybody's trauma went right there. But it's not that. It wasn't an NFC Championship game. It was a big letdown because we had a 14-win team, and then we didn't win a single game in the playoffs. Like, that sucks, but it wasn't the game that would have sent us to the Super Bowl. Like, there was still a lot of football yet to be played. And it was still an uphill battle. We had to go back to Detroit. Well, no, we wouldn't have gone to. We would have gone to Philly, but Philly's
and then to Detroit.
Philly's just as tough, if not tougher. Like, we do not do well at Philly. So it was not going to be an easy road, even if we had won this week. So if anything, this win may have saved us from an even greater heartbreak. Because every game we won, raising our hopes even more and more and more. But is it too late to cash out? Like, I bet.
Well, I was going to save that to the end, but I cashed out.
Did you cash out?
Yeah, $10.30, my friend. It was not a complete loss. $10.30.
I didn't think you could cash it out during a game.
Yeah, it just keeps steadily dropping. I was going to say something midway through the first half. I looked at it, and it was like 140 something, but I knew you were just going to be like, no, we're riding it to the end. This game's not over, because I was like, I was done.
You were done in the first. You were done in the first 3 and out, the very first.
Well, because I knew it, and you knew it too, and you knew it too. You knew it too.
That's not true at all.
You did. Yeah, you did. But anyways, so
no, I have a witness. I was a workmate, buddy of mine. We were watching it at my house here together, and until like, I would say 4 or 5 minutes into the fourth quarter, I was like, this is not going to happen. But I maintained. I was like, listen, we've come back from bigger deficits. Like, this could happen. Like, we're not out of it. There's a lot of football left. And I listen, I'll say it. I'll say it with my whole chest. Like, I'm disappointed in our own fan base. On social media, the people just turned on this team so quickly.
Well, but that's all that is.
It's not that I don't understand. It's not that I don't understand. I have the same trauma, but
it's trauma. Yeah. It hurts. Of
course it hurts.
I didn't go on to this. Well, yeah, exactly.
I didn't those videos,
the social medias and stuff, but
it sucks. Of course it sucks. But I was watching his videos and had that post locker room interviews with a bunch of the. I mean, that's a tearjerker for sure. And I was going to include that in this podcast, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
But that.
Dude, I just listened to Harry and I started crying, dude. I listened to that at work today when I sent that to you. That
When he's like, I just like do it in front of a camera, and then that's what broke him down by just saying that. He got all in his feels and had to collect himself. And I mean, here's my message to the fans. It does suck as a fan, but if you think it sucks as a fan, how'd you like to be one of those players?
Yeah.
This is their actual livelihood on the line. Yeah. This is their passion. This is the thing that drives them. This is what gets them up every single day. We get excited about it. We pay attention. We watch a game once a week, and then we piss and moan about if our team lets us down. We don't really ever give back to them. I mean, obviously you can say ticket sales and everything else, but let's be honest. The vast majority of football fans aren't going to the stadium and buying tickets.
Yeah.
Aren't really buying that much licensed gear.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. You buy a Vikings jersey from Walmart, the Vikings organization, the amount of that $35 t-shirt that you bought at Walmart that's going into the coffers to pay for salaries, you'd have to get a sharp knife or a file and just shave off a penny. Like it ain't, it's nothing. So you, as a fan, you think you're owed something, you're not. Yeah. So I think as a fan, I don't know. I just had some time to reflect today. I'm like, I gotta not allow myself to get like as emotionally involved as I do. And at least, I mean, I like being involved emotionally, but not to the point where I'm like, they're screwing me over. They're not doing it. They're trying to make themselves millions of dollars and more money.
No, I don't feel that at all. I don't feel that at all. I don't know. But I see, because I did not, I'm not, I wasn't on a lot of social media. I wasn't watching a lot of stuff. I wasn't watching TV at all. I've been kind of under the weather. And so I haven't, really just been feeling up to it. But I on purpose, I'm like, I'm not watching it. I don't want to see it because it's still too raw for me. It's still too, and it sounds crazy to say that, but I mean, we are invested. We get excited. And the enjoyment, we've talked about our fandom as a relationship. And when that other person hurts you, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it hurts. It really hurts. And then, it didn't hit me until I saw that today that we might have watched Harry's last game. And that, to me, I was talking to Jeremiah today about that. He has not known a Vikings team without Harrison Smith. I mean, it's been 13 seasons. He'll turn 18 in March. I mean, that he was 5 when Harry came, or 4 probably. So I'm like, yeah, Harrison Smith's not there. 22's not there. Like that, that even kind of set in a more of a, oh man, yeah, like, we think about the team and we had heard and, the way it ended and all that kind of stuff. But then you start thinking about, like you said, about the people that are there. And it's just like, man, you get so excited to watch these players. And a lot of them are not going to be there. We'll have at some point we can run down. I have a list of all of the contracts, everybody under contract and when their contract is up and all that kind of stuff. So we can go through that a little bit because obviously there's nothing to talk about the game. I mean, the season's over. Still a great season, 14-3, which is what we predicted. 14-3. Isn't that what that's what we got? So if nothing else, we got the 14-3 right. I don't think it was as how we had predicted it.
No, but I don't think so at all. That's hilarious.
The thing of it is, I think that hurt so bad was it felt like after last week, our season was over. And I think that the team kind of felt that too. I think Sam must have for sure because he looked the same. I mean, he looked scared, held onto the ball way too long. Now, of course, his offensive line, play calling, the whole 9 yards. But on average, he was holding the ball like almost 5 seconds.
Oh,
dude, that ball has to come out. I mean, it has to come out. 2-3 seconds. It has to come out. I don't care if they're all guarded. If you go through your progression and they're all guarded, throw it away. You can't take. What did I saw? I heard.
You got to move
82 yards. 82 yards they lost in sacks. 82 yards. Like
can't.
That just can't happen. And fourth and 2.
I mean, all you gotta do is put your head down and throw the ball off to the side to avoid the sack.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
that
you gotta
was
do.
that one
The
thing
fact
I
that they
did
called
see
that a
about
pass, I do want to talk about the fact they called that a pass, and I understand that's what his intent. But when you watch the replay, his arm's going, and he just lets the ball go. There's no forward momentum on that. There's no trajectory. He opens his hand and the ball falls out.
That's absurd, dude. That is, and I watched Stephen A. Smith today with Dan Orlovsky and all these. They were arguing about Sam Darnold and that he's trash and all this kind of stuff, whatever. And the one thing that Stephen A. did say, he's like, that was a defensive touchdown. I don't care what you said. That was the worst call that I've seen. Like, that was a terrible call. That was a defensive touchdown. And they showed the clip, and he's like, that's a touchdown. And he's like, maybe that's the momentum. Maybe that, that who knows what that does. Of course that changes everything. I mean, it's a huge play in the game. So,
especially when you're down and you're battling and then you have that taken away from you, it's just you're going to get even more down. The emotional impact of that just drives you further into a hole for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the defense did play angry a little bit after that, but then when the offense couldn't put points on the board, they lost their steam right away,
Yeah.
But when that gets taken from you, I mean, I don't know.
That's
not why we lost. But.
Yeah, and even the I think even the official that's in the booth, I think he was like, yeah, there's that, no way. And Troy was like, yeah, that's pretty generous right there. He said that I mean, that's
the Manning cast.
17 is in, oh yeah, I saw that Manning cast with Belichick. I saw that after the fact. Yeah, he was like, dude, this is stupid.
He's like what can a defense do?
Yeah. He's like, nobody's jumping the defense. It's all about the offense. That's a pass. That's terrible, dude. That was absurd. Does it make a difference in the game? You never know, because momentum is a real thing. We've talked about that time and time again. So, who knows? Whatever. It doesn't change the fact. Now the NFL could come back and say, "Yeah, we blew it," and you guys need to be fine.
Is it
we get to go back? We get to do over now. We're going to pick up from that point, like.
It doesn't change. It doesn't change the fact that Sam held on to the ball too much. I saw a breakdown where the guy went through every single one of the sacks, and then he had like whose fault it was, and really, and I agreed with him. His assessment of every play, like there really was only 3 sacks that were 100% Sam's fault, just not getting the ball away or not throwing it away. Like, dude, you can't do that. Those 3 sacks are on you, and then there was 1 or 2 that was just kind of attributed to,
coverage.
Kind of a whole team breakdown kind of a thing. And then the other 4 were the offensive line just got gamed, dude. Like they just couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I think comes back on Sam, and some of it might have been, because the blitzers and the offensive line didn't pick it up. I don't know how this guy decided which ones were on Sam for holding the ball too long, but like what Shannon Sharp was talking about, and he says, when you put that guy in motion, he said, if nobody bumps out with that guy in motion, that guy's coming. Like even if you're not sure, just take a look over there. I mean, all you got to do is take a look over there. And I don't know how many free rushers came in, and hit Sam, boom, 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 because he's not paying attention. He's looking the other way, and all of a sudden, bang, he gets blindsided. Strip sack, fumble recovery, touchdown. So, and they were putting guys in.
I think that was one of them where it wasn't, nobody really made a mistake. The guy just came in free and he didn't have time to react. So,
well, and that's because, like I said, you put that man in motion, and if nobody goes out with him, well, then that corner is coming with a blitz, because he's not going to go all out there. Yeah. He's coming in a blitz. So that's what Shannon Sharp was talking about. And I'm like, that's why you put people in motion, to see what are they going to do. That's what they do against us. When we have all these guys up front, they put up somebody in motion to see, does anybody jump with them? And if they don't, then they know they're coming. And if they do, well, then they know they're dropping back. I mean, it's not, when they explain it like that, I don't think that it's that difficult to understand. But in the end, it might have been, the way I've processed it the last couple of days is that it probably did us a favor, because I don't see how they sign Sam Darnold now. I don't see how they keep him. I mean, okay, I get it. He gave us 14 wins, but and even if you thought, well, I can, work on that or whatever, we can see what we do in the offseason and get his headspace right, and he might come out and have a great season next year. But until it means something, number 1 seed on the line, go into Detroit and lay an egg, and then you get in the playoffs and you lay an egg, you will never know how good Sam is until he gets back into that kind of situation again. Because obviously during the regular season. We won 14 games. I mean, that's insane, dude. We lost to the same two teams, twice to Detroit in the regular season and once to the Rams in the regular season and once to the Rams in the playoffs. So, I think that it probably did us a favor. If it was me just looking at the situation, I would say we sign Danny Dimes. Obviously, we have J.J. McCarthy under contract, and we let Sam walk and let him go get paid. I saw, or somebody was saying something, it might have been Stephen A. on a clip that I saw or something like that, that going into week 18, Sam Darnold had a projected contract of like $53 million a year or something like that. And after week 18, it dropped to
he lost
like 14 million, like 14 million dollar drop or something like that. So I don't know if it was like 56 to like 42 or something like that, or 54 to 40 or something. Yeah, I mean, still that's a lot of money, but who's going to pay that? I'm sure that there's some teams that will be like, hey, we'll take him. I mean, he won 14 games, and if he can just get us into the playoffs, that's all we're worried about, kind of thing. Well, then there you go. But I think for me, I think you keep Danny Dimes. You bring in JJ, and I think you just hand the keys to JJ in the offseason and say, here you go, kid. I mean, you got Jaden Daniels, you got Caleb Williams, you got Bo Nix at Denver. You see Michael Penix came in Atlanta for, Cousins, who knows where he's going to go now, and Atlanta's taking a huge hit on that. But, so I don't even think you need to, like, bring in JJ along slowly. All these rookies came in rookie year and played. Jaden Daniels playing great. Bo Nix playing great, made the playoffs. Caleb Williams actually played pretty good. He didn't have any picks toward the later in the game in the season. He actually played pretty decently. So now that JJ, I know he hasn't had real reps, but he knows the playbook. Obviously, he's been in all these meetings. He's asked all the right questions. So now it's just a matter of getting out there in training camp and getting out there in the preseason and getting some reps in. Give him the ball week 1. Let's go. Let's just let's see what the kid's got. And then you have Danny Dimes as a backup. If he comes in there and all of a sudden he gets swallowed up early on, well, then maybe you bring him back a little bit and say, hey, let's take a step back and, see where we're going.
I think Daniel Jones will find a job somewhere. I think it's going to come down to money. I think KOC probably has a number in his head, and he's like, if we can keep Sam for this, then, I think how it would play out. Let's say that happens. Let's say we get him for just a deal because Sam Darnold knows that this is a great organization and he wants to be here and knows that if he goes somewhere else, Oakland or Jags or wherever, that they don't have a Justin Jefferson. They don't have a, Addison. They don't have a Hawkinson. You're not going to look as good in another team. Like, you're not going to be able to, like, you had the best opportunity here because, like Colin Cowherd said, it's like you're moving into a furnished apartment. All the things were here for you to have success, and that's exactly what happened. 14 wins. Anyways, I just don't. You're just not going to be able to go to another team and do that. So now there is that element of like he's going to get, if he can go get paid. I think KOC is like, you should definitely go get paid. But here's what we're willing to pay you. So if he makes that decision, because maybe he's like, shit, I lost $30 million in those last 2 games.
Yeah.
If I can stay here and rebuild my stock, and then sign it, then if I can put another 14 wins on the table next year, maybe go deeper into the playoffs, well, then my stock goes up, and then if I go to another team, at least I'll be making some money, and in a way, I'm okay with that because you could start Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones, whoever, let McCarthy sit a little bit, but then, if you just see it not going your way, you're like, kid, you're in. Like, there's no reason that second, third game in the season, you don't have to wait for an injury. You could just be like, nope, we tried the experiment. Have a seat.
Yeah.
Young kid, you're in.
I think they just give him the keys from the get-go. I just say he's the future. What KOC has done with these other quarterbacks that have bad tendencies, let the kid just come in and just start off, and you guys are fighting for second place. Daniel Jones.
Did I screenshot this? I might have, because I thought this was brilliant. Yeah, I don't see it now. Basically, it was something about how KOC was like Top Chef, and he was given like a cart full of just ridiculous items to make a gourmet meal, and he put together, a 14-win team. And that's kind of what he had with Sam Darnold, right? Like, he wasn't given a lot to work with. He took a quarterback that had never done anything remotely like that and turned him into a 14-win quarterback. Now, all for what, right? You can say that, but the point of that post at the end, he's like, what can he do when he's got the ingredients that he wants? So what can he do with JJ?
JJ,
right?
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah. That's why I'm thinking just let him have it. But I mean, obviously, that's completely out of our hands, and all that kind of good stuff. What they're gonna do, and we can all speculate. And I'm already seeing mock drafts, and it drives me insane, dude. These mock drafts. The draft is not until March, bro. Like, what are you doing, dude?
we need O-line. That's it. Just
unbelievable,
get the best
man.
O-lineman you possibly can. That's what we need.
No, the draft is in. When is the draft? May? Maybe it's in May. I don't know. It's got to be nice because we went to it here. Can't be March. It was way too cold to be in March. I don't know when the draft is, April or May or something. Anyway, but yeah, I'm like, shut up with the mock draft stuff. It's so ridiculous, dude. Like, nobody has any idea what these guys really know. And the people that do these mock drafts don't have any idea either. They don't know what these guys are capable of, who's coming out or what. So let's look at some of the free agents. Of course, we have JJ. He's under contract till 2028. Christian Darrisaw, which will be back next year. So, yeah, Jeremiah and I were talking about this today, and we're talking about how, the future is still very bright. And we do have, I've seen $75 million in cap space. I don't know how it looks as far as signing people and the signing bonuses and stuff. I haven't researched all that. I think the signing bonuses come from the Wilfs, like from the family, because it doesn't go against the salary cap, to my knowledge. But $75 million in I know we have that in cap space. Darrisaw, we just signed to an extension. We have him all the way through 2029. Brian O'Neill through 2026. JG Grenard, who was a free agent, we have him through 27. So we signed him to a four-year contract, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, this year. So that's nice that he came in as a free agent. TJ, we just signed a new contract last year, so we have him through 27. Cam Robinson, who we picked up via free agency later in the season, he's out. I know, actually, Cam Robinson, we've had on the contract. Apparently, we've had him from 2022. So, but his contract is up this year. Blake Cashman, we have through 2026. JJ McCarthy, of course, on his rookie contract all the way through 2028. Josh Oliver through next season. AVG, who we picked up this year, was on a 2-year contract, so we have him through next year. So that's good. Maybe you get an extension next year. Obviously, made the Pro Bowl for the first time. Byron Murphy, cornerback. Great player. He's up. His contract's up this year. Dallas Turner's a rookie. We have him through 28. Garrett Bradbury, our center, which we probably need a new center. I don't think Garrett Bradbury's he's not terrible. He's good through next year. Harrison Phillips on the defensive line, he's good through 2026. Jordan Addison through 2026. Harry. Actually, this says that he's good through 2025. But
yeah, I think we had him. I think his last contract extension.
We signed a 2-year contract. Yeah,
it's up to him if he wants it. Like, he might retire, but
might just
I don't think he will.
So he's under contract. Yeah.
I really do feel like he played well enough.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah,
that he could be good next year too.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I also don't want to wait for
him to fall off.
Feeling scenario where he's starting to fall off a little bit, and then you see him. I had I don't want to get a sidetrack, but I had a ridiculous thought today. Call it ridiculous. I don't know whether we win a title or not. Like, I want a Hitman statue somewhere like that, man. I mean, how often do you see that in sports today, where he's only played for one team and he's played at a high level? He's such a fan favorite. He's such a good guy. Like, the dude has You just want him to win it. You just want him to win it, dude. Like,
yeah. That one sucks. That one really listening to his thing really got me teared up. Yeah,
I was going to bring this up earlier, but I felt that emotion last year when I went to that New Year's game where he got blown out. Where and they introduced like the players and like they introduced Hitman. I was just like, I gotta start getting choked up. Like this might be the last time I see him take the field. Now I need to be grateful because I got to watch him again, even if he retires this year. Like I got a whole nother season. That wasn't promised me, and he played great, and so I'm really grateful for that. And I really hope I get to see him play one more season.
Yeah.
And I'll say even at least one more season. But I think, he's like you said, he's been in the league a long time.
35. He'll be 36 this year. So,
I mean, for a defensive player,
this year was his 13th. It was his 13th season this year. But anyway, so yeah, that one's gonna be tough. Hopefully, he, like I said, he sticks around. Sam Darnold, of course, was on a 1-year contract. Blake Brandel, 2026. CJ Ham through 25. Josh Metellus through 25. So that's nice. Gilly, he was on a 1-year contract. So what do we do with him? He's old. He wasn't as good as we kind of hoped he was. He was pretty good in the beginning of the season, but then he got kind of he showed his age a little bit later in this season. Aaron Jones, he was a 1-year contract, so he's not under contract. So do we let him walk?
I don't think Aaron Jones is a Viking next year.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to go younger.
He's a good locker room guy, but this is like what nobody wants to say out loud. He wasn't that great. He had moments,
but he was way better than anybody else we had. That's the thing.
For sure. He's
better than Ty Chandler. We need to get a running back. We need a young, strong, good running back.
That means our running back squad is just not great. Ham was good when we needed him. Like, but you're starting back. Like, I don't know. His cuts and his decision making, like I just wasn't ever really blown away. Now again, that could be our O-line. I don't know. Maybe they're just not giving him good holes. Possible.
But when I would see him compared, like when you could tell a difference when Cam Akers or Ty Chandler was in the game, though.
For sure.
For series, I'm like, like Aaron Jones gets that. Aaron Jones cuts that back and turns that upfield and gets 4 yards where you got nothing. But I don't know. We need to get younger for sure.
It's going to come down to if the options, right? If there isn't a better option really available for us, then we keep them, But I think if KOC can, I don't know KOC, but if the KOC that I have built up in my mind, I feel like he probably already has a couple candidates that he'd like to see. And if he can make it work, he will. And if not, then so be it. Like the dude just like, I do think that he plans way out ahead, like,
for sure.
Like a chess game. He's out in front of it.
Patrick Jones, outside linebacker, he's on a rookie contract, but his contract is up. Shaq Griffin brought in a free agent. His contract's up. Cam Bynum, who we've had for 4 years on his rookie contract. Hopefully he gets an extension. His contract's up. Nick Mullins, who we've had for 2 years now. His contract's up. He's a free agent. Ty Chandler was good. Jerry Tillery, he was a 1-year contract. He's a free agent. Dalton Reisner, we had him last year, but we re-signed him to a 1-year contract. He's a Jonathan.
Didn't we pick him up this year? Reisner's new this year, isn't he?
No, we had him last year too, because remember he came and filled in for Ed O'Neill or Ed Oliver.
Right.
The Ed Ingram, terrible Ed Ingram. Yeah, Dalton Reisner. He didn't play. Remember
That's right. You're right.
Him 5 weeks, but Jonathan Ballard, he's a free agent. He was a 1-year. Brandon Powell, who is our wide receiver 3 or 4, punt returner. He's a free agent. Johnny Munt is a free agent. Questenberry's a free agent. He was backup right tackle. Dan Feeney's a center. He's a free agent. Jahard Ward, outside linebacker, who barely played, free agent. Trent Sherford Jr. He's got some playing time this year too, free agent. Camus Grugier Hill, who got a little bit of inside linebacker action. He's a free agent. Fabian Moreau's a free agent. Cam Akers a free agent. Theo Jackson's a free agent. Oh, those are practice squad guys. I think Jalen Redmond, Bo Richter, they're all 1-year contracts. So there's definitely Kwesi and KOC definitely have their work cut out for them as far as who comes back and salary caps and all this kind of stuff. So should be interesting to see. I mean, but the one thing that it kind of hit me today in watching Justin's locker room clean out video from yesterday, and they asked him about it, and he was like, one of the things is just the fact that we'll never have this team again. And he said, and it was a special team. Like, we were all in it together. There was no drama. There was no, he didn't say this, but, he's just like, we were all on the same page. We were all like, we were so close. And, you heard that time and time again from a lot of different players. Like this, just the chemistry in this team is just amazing. And so, you try to duplicate that, and it's just never, it's kind of like in high school where, you get kids that transfer in and out, or the senior class is there. I remember my first year coming to Springville, I was a sophomore, and the senior class is amazing and all this kind of stuff. And then they left. And the next year it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, it's not the same. And you try to duplicate the same chemistry and all that kind of stuff, and it's never the same. And so I think that's kind of where I really feel a little bit of the sorrow. Like, man, that might have been a really good chance to do something, because, we've had teams in the past where we've had the Stephon Diggs who wasn't, give me the ball, kind of a little bit of a cancer. You see other teams that have, wide receivers that are prima donnas, or, not so much us, I mean, we've had a little bit of that, but, it's hard to know what goes on in the locker room. But, you see these other teams that it's leaking this and it's leaking that. Even look at Philly, the issues that they were having with their wide receivers and stuff, and Jalen Hurts, and, we don't have the ball, and I need to have the ball more, and blah, blah, blah. And we didn't have that this year. We didn't have any of that. And to hear to a man them say the chemistry in this team, the togetherness, the brotherhoods. And so that just kind of like, man, you're right. And it just showed to me the personal side of, like you said, like how hard these guys take it. Like, we're just fans watching, and we want a good outcome, but this is their life. This is what they do. It's like, what's the percentage of NFL players? Like, to be a pro athlete, it's like 0.001% of all Americans will be a professional athlete. So these guys are the best of the best. And, we give them a hard time. And, some of these guys are coming in off the bench, and they're still 0.1% of all humanity that can actually play this game at this level. So, it's just, it's a tough pill to swallow. And, who knows what next year brings. At some point, you got to keep the faith that the Vikings are going to figure it out, and that KOC is going to figure it out. And I think KOC has to grow a lot too, because, to me, the last 2 games, he just got out coached. Like, he just couldn't, he couldn't get Sam to get in his right head, or what. I'm just thinking, when the pressure was there and he just kept getting sacked, like, dude, you have to stop calling these down the field. Like, where's the screens? Where's the TJs? Where's the, the screen passes, the slants? Like, just get the ball out as fast as you possibly can. And are you calling those?
Yeah, I think he is. I don't want to let him totally off the hook, but I was kind of cognizant of that, and I was watching the play calls and that, and that's where a lot of it does fall down on Sam, because those plays, you have to get the ball out right away. On the other side of the ball, you look at what the Rams do, and they were getting those dink and dunk yards because it was like snap 1-2, ball is released. And you get that little quick 7-yard pickup, and it's just like, when your running game's not working, you can use that as the same as a running game. You keep doing that, that's going to bring in the defense, and that sets you up for the long ball, just like the run game does.
Yeah.
But those calls were being played, but Sam wasn't getting the ball off fast enough. Like, I saw quite a few times in that game where Hawkinson was open, Naylor was open, Addison was open, but just for a full second or two, like if he'd have released the ball, there was the play, but he held it, and then the defense collapsed around that person. That was gone. Then he had the check, and next thing you know, he's running for his life and he's getting sacked. You got to get the ball out. Like those timed plays. Like I feel like they were called. It's just he couldn't get the ball out for whatever. I don't know what was going on with him, that he just was so afraid to turn it over or something. He had a little cousinitis.
I don't know. I mean,
because there was multiple times in that game he had receivers open, short, middle, and long, and he just wasn't able to give him the ball. And then when he would deliver the ball, it was off. It was behind.
Yeah. Yeah. The passes were definitely not accurate either. Yeah, for sure. So
I can't put that on KOC. I mean, yes, he's responsible. He's he's the quarterback whisperer. You'd hope he could coach him up during the game, but at the end of the day, Sam has to implement.
He can't go out there and make the throws for him. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I still have. It's going to take a lot more than this for me to lose faith in KOC. We got a 14.
Oh yeah.
Season out of, like you said, out of quarterback that nobody knew. Not only did nobody know what he was going to be, most people thought they knew what he was. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why people were putting us at a 4-win team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I mean, all in all, it's a great, like you said, all in all, it's a great season. I mean, we had, last year, of course, with all the injuries, it was tough, but 13 wins, KOC's first season, 14 wins, KOC's third season. If it wasn't for Kirk going down and JJ going down last year, who knows what we do with that. So, I mean, definitely my faith in KOC is still there and all that he has going on. And I have no doubt that next year we'll be just as excited. And I'm excited now. It's just, it's just a tough pill to swallow the way things ended. And to see the players and the emotion on there, it just really is like, yeah, man, this was tough. This was tough on them too. So I guess we're kind of all in it together. You know what I mean? Like it's, fans, everything. It's
it really was a fun season, and that's been my main takeaway from all this. And yeah, it hurts, it sucks, and all that. But man, for a season that we didn't think, well, I mean, we delusionally picked 14-3, but
yeah, I did exactly.
But I mean, realistically, I don't. So it was a fun season. I put that $100 bet in preseason, 8,001 odds. That was a great $100. Like I had fun every week because of that. Yeah. Like every week I got like, ooh, this could happen, and every week we'd win. Like, oh man, this could be it.
We're going up.
Oh my gosh, this could really. I might be cashing $8,000 check. This could be awesome. Obviously it didn't pan out, but it's like I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a bar, pissed away $100, and don't remember.
Sure.
I mean, like that was that's some of the best. That's some of the best entertainment money I've ever spent.
Yeah. No.
One NFL game for $100. Most times.
You can't even get close. Yeah.
Beer and food.
Like it's just like going to the casino. You go and spend $100 on a chance to win 8,000. Heck yeah, I'll spend $100 on a chance to win 8,000. It just so happens it's over an 18-week season.
So I'm definitely going to put another Hondo down on my team come next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder when they'll announce those odds, because those will probably change depending on draft order and everything else. I mean,
maybe. If I had a phone, I could look.
Oh, that's right. You can't look. I was like, what are my odds right now? I might need to place that sooner than later.
I can't even look. It's probably crazy high. Of course it is.
Max profit,
without it, who knows if it's 10,000 to 1 or something, you put it on there today.
30,000 to 1, put it down right now. It probably will be at its lowest right now.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be there. The future odds you got to be able to go out and put that, I'm sure. But I wanted to look at next year. We do know the teams that we're going to play next year. We don't know what weeks they are.
All right.
But we have a very tough schedule. our road games are not terrible. I'll start with the road games, I guess. Of course, we play Chicago, Detroit, and Green Bay on the road. Cowboys.
Okay, there's 4 wins at a minimum there.
Yeah, exactly. The Giants. That's another win. The Steelers, which the Steelers are, playoff team, but they haven't been great. I don't know what they're going to do with what's his name? Seattle, our nemesis there, Russell Wilson. And then the Browns, which the Browns were terrible this year too. So actually, our road games. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There's 6 road wins.
7 wins right there, probably. I mean, maybe not the Steelers, but 6 for sure. Yeah, the Bears, the Lions,
6 road wins.
The Lions. So maybe we'll see what the Lions.
Oh no, that's not 6. I put 2. That's 4. So we're gonna beat the Packers and Bears at home. So
yeah, and then we have, of course, Chicago, Detroit, and Green Bay at home, and then the Eagles come to town, the Commanders come to town, the Baltimore Ravens come to town, Cincinnati Bengals come to town, and once again, but it will not be Kirk O'Chains. I'm sure it will be Michael Penix Jr. The Atlanta Falcons come to town. So we have the number 2 seed. We have the number 1 seed in the NFC this year, the number 2 seed in the NFC, the number 6 seed in the NFC, the number 2 seed in the AFC. The Bengals didn't make it because they kind of had a bad season. But
I conservatively gave us 9 wins there. Just see how the
Chicago, Green Bay, we sweep again. That's 2 home wins. The Falcons is 3 home wins. Maybe the Commanders, but they're actually really good. I mean, they're still playing. I mean, they have set the Buccaneers. So what did I say? 1, 2. We beat the Lions at home this year for sure. They're going to lose their offensive coordinator and maybe their defensive coordinator. I mean, we might lose B-Flow too, but Dan Campbell, there's no way they're going to strike gold again with an offensive coordinator like that. So he's definitely gone the offensive coordinator. So I say we beat Detroit at home. So that's 3. Chicago, Green Bay. We beat all of our division rivals at home. 3 Eagles. Commanders is a maybe. The Bengals, we should probably win.
10-win team.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Probably.
Let's say 5 wins at home and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins on the road. Yeah. 10 and 7. 10 and 7, and we get a wild card, but it won't be 10 and 7. I'll say just preliminarily. Once we get through the draft and
we'll see what draft. We'll see free agency brings. I mean, the B-Full thing. Glad you brought that up. He's definitely looking.
Yeah,
but I don't.
He's getting calls.
I think he's smart enough to not just take anything. The one coaching team that actually popped up that I thought he might be interested in at first was Dallas, but then now there's rumblings that maybe Prime Time will take that job. So and that is such a fucking what's his nuts move to the owner.
Jerry Jones.
That's such a Jerry Jones move to bring fan favorite back. I think he'd be better off bringing. He'd be more successful bringing in B-Flow, in my opinion. But
well, they do have some head coaching experience along that sideline already. In their defensive coordinator. Can you imagine?
That's gonna feel good when they fire him too.
Oh my goodness, dude! Oh,
he's 100% getting fired.
Yeah, that's look at that.
That's a win for us.
With McCarthy gone, I'm sure the whole staff is gone. I'm sure because McCarthy brought him in. But the Detroit's just, I mean, Dallas, they're never going to be any good with Jerry Jones. I mean, until he dies, because he just can't. He can't let the coaches be the coach. He's the GM. Like, he's always just there, and you have to run it a certain way. I could see now if he brings in Prime, and Prime goes to him and says, "All right, Jerry, I'll do it, but you got to let me do it." And he would be the only one that I would say would stand up to him. He's got the big enough name and the big enough star power to stand up to him and say, "You let me run it, and I'll do it.
Yeah,
you start interfering, and I'm not." Like, he's because he don't care. What, man? I'm good here. I'll just stay here. Like my brand is huge. I mean,
hopefully Flo has a no compete clause. I don't want to see him go to the Bears.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I think he took
Yeah.
the Bears, didn't he? Or no, he turned down.
I
the
don't
Bears,
know.
didn't he?
Yeah,
I don't know. He's getting interviews for sure, but it'd be nice if he stayed. It is nice, that he is getting some love because, he is a great, defensive mind, and the fact that he didn't get any calls last year, we attributed that to his league. He's suing the league for discrimination and stuff like that, which, to my knowledge, it's still under,
still active. Yeah.
There. So.
I don't know. I think he's smart enough. Like I said, he's not just going to leave just to be a head coach. He'll go to a team where he actually thinks he has a chance to win it, or do well. I might say win it, but do well.
I think you take a team
that has the building blocks to build a team eventually. Because Dan Campbell, the first time, his first season, they won 4 games or whatever. His first season was terrible.
2 or 3, yeah.
So it takes a while to get the players that you want. So, but I don't know. We'll see. It'd be nice if we could retain him. But I like Beeflo. I feel like we talked about this early season. Like the league's really good at adapting, and I feel like it's adapted to his new style. It was far more dominant. These surprising plays, peeling people way back and these other looks or whatever. First half of the season, it got less and less effective as the season went on. Teams were able to adjust. So I don't know that I don't know that I'm like, oh, that's such a great loss if we lose them.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. Like the defense wasn't Monday night when they just walked down the field and scored to start the game. There was no Sam Darnold in that at all. There was no bad head coaching in that at all. That was just Beeflo's defense letting them walk down the field and score.
Yep.
Like 4 minutes in, and it was 7-0. You know what I mean? So. Of course, the offense didn't help after that point, but that was all on Beeflo right there. That was all him, and they just looked. I mean, they didn't stop him one time. I mean, like nothing. That was
coaches like him. I mean, the players like him. That's huge.
Yeah.
But I did have a little bit a twinge of that old Zimmer thing where I was getting as teams are putting up points at will on us, basically. The announcer's still like, oh, and this Brian Flores defense, like, you got to stop saying that, dude. We're getting killed. Yeah. It's not working this game. Like, and I don't want to really throw any shade at Beeflo. I do like him. I think he's a big, 100% he played a big role in our 14-win season because there was quite a few games where the defense bailed out the offense for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't want to throw too much shade his way, but he had his share of ass whoopings too.
Yeah. Well, he got a little bit of a pass because it was like, well, I mean, even against Detroit, like we were in that game for 3 quarters of that game. I mean, it was like a 10-point game. It was 10-0 into going late into the game or something. Or
midway through the third quarter,
and the defense just got tired. Now Monday night, that wasn't really the case. It was 10-0.
Started out hot,
you knew it, yeah. So, and again, I think that just the emotional letdown of that game on Sunday night was just. It was too much. That when they lost to Detroit, it kind of took the fire out of them, I think. And I think they tried to come out with some fire on Monday night, but it just wasn't there. I think they just kind of
don't agree with Stephen A very often, but I do think that it was cool to see after that Green Bay game them lift up Sam Darnold and celebrate like they did. But I do kind of believe they blew their emotional wad on that.
He did say that. Like, what are you doing? You didn't win anything yet, and that was
regular season game, it was your biggest rival, but that game, now if you'd have beat Detroit and stole the 1 seed, abso-fucking-lutely.
That's the end of the season. I mean, that is something to celebrate because you get a week off and everything else. So, and maybe that was Sam letting his guard down a little bit and not being so tight, not being so detailed or whatever, because he was kind of riding that high, like, man, my teammates actually love me for once. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he's ever felt that anywhere else, that anybody believed in him at all, as a quarterback, and his teammates are probably not, all that supportive and everything else. So, I don't know. Who knows? The season, it was a great season. we swept the Packers. The Packers finished tied for dead last in the division with 1-5 with the
Bears.
With the Bears. They made the playoffs. Okay, big deal. But you're 1-5 in the division, dude. Like you're not good. We swept you. So that's always in years past. That's always been a huge win. The fact that we can beat the Packers. So, we'll see what happens next year. JJ, we definitely have some stuff we got to fix up. I think we need some offensive line help. Having Darisaw back. I don't know where he's at as his injury. Is he back at the beginning of the season? Is he back midway through?
Yeah.
The one good thing again is like we have nobody on the offense like JJ. Jets, I guess McCarthy obviously will be back 100% for the season. Jettis, Addison, TJ will be there the whole season. Get some chemistry with whoever's swinging the ball. So at least we have that. Because we haven't had a lot of that in the last couple years. And you got to start thinking, okay, JJ, he's here another 3 or 4 years, but if he keeps getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs or doesn't make them, how long is he going to stay?
He's never experienced a playoff win.
He's never experienced a playoff win. When was the last time we won a playoff game? 2018? 2017?
So it's crazy to think that the best wide receiver in the game hasn't won a playoff game. It's
never won a playoff game. Yeah.
Terrible. So we'll see. I mean, it's I don't know that there's anything else to say about that. I think we kind of wrapped it up. So watch the off season, watch it unfold. See what kind of moves. Now it's time for the front office is in the hot seat. Now we get to see what Quicey does and KOC does and see how it goes. A big spotlight is going to be on Quicey during that draft. We've alluded to it that KOC is kind of like the shadow GM, and no doubt in my mind, the way the Wilfs love him, that he's going to get a giant contract extension for sure.
For sure.
So I'm not really worried about it. He's not. There's all these stupid things. Well, he's going to be trade KOC, about not happening. Dude.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
I know, not happening. Trade the coach of the year. Fuck off. So it's not going to happen. But so it'll be interesting to see. Just because Quicey did. I thought his non-draft acquisitions and trades, stuff like that, were decent, but his draft wasn't all that great. I mean, other than McCarthy, getting McCarthy. So definitely the microscope's going to be on him at the draft to see what we do, see if we can make some moves, fill in pieces that we really need. O-line. Like I said, we got the offense there already. Like we got the weapons.
Yeah.
We got the weapons. Now we need the ability to launch them. So
yeah, and I'd almost be willing. I think for me, I would rather really spend the money on the O-line and let the defense be a little suspect, because if we can outscore people like so many other teams in this league, you know what I mean? Like if we have time to give whatever quarterback is there, we have the weapons on offense there. So it wouldn't take much if we can just get a couple interior offensive linemen and shore up that offensive line. Well, then if the defense gives up some points, okay, I mean, we're still going to be decent. I mean, we still have a pretty good core of defenders. And so, if we can't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, if we can't, our cornerbacks are a little bit short, maybe they're not the greatest. Okay, but we're going to score 40 points because we have a great offensive line. We can run the ball. And if we can run the ball with a great offensive line, obviously then that sets up the play action pass and everything else. And so the quarterback has time. They can stand back there and pick people apart. How are you going to beat us? So maybe that's just the route that we need to take. That's the Bills.
Like KOC said, like you think, systems fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail systems. And, if you have a porous O-line and you're running for your life and you're getting sacked, what's a better way to ruin McCarthy than to just have him getting murdered the whole time? But if you can give him good protection and let him be a quarterback and get that confidence and make some plays and march down the field, like, man, that's gonna be a lot better than if he's just like getting annihilated he's gonna get frustrated and you're not teaching him anything. So
100%. I would say this to 10 fans that are going to watch this. Keep an eye on a couple things we want to start, maybe sooner than later. A Facebook page dedicated completely to the FullSkol, I'm thinking if we can get that started even, soon, next month or two, that way we can start posting things about the draft. We can post things about free agent signings or off-season acquisitions. We let this guy go, let that go, without having to have the podcast. So look for that. We talked a little bit about it a couple weeks ago, where maybe next season we want to start doing some live interactions, maybe some post-game live, like a vent line kind of thing. Those are always kind of fun to see when the Packers lose their mind. You watch some of the vent lines on the Packers and stuff like that. Of course, some of the other bigger podcasts do that as well. Vent lines where they come on and they bring people on and stuff like that. So maybe, we do have some connections with some people on the staff. So maybe we can reach out to some people and see if we can't get them to come on board, get some guests next year and stuff like that. So try to maybe do a little bit more with it.
I thought it'd be fun to
is this now our maybe third season now?
Yeah, man, it'd be fun to do like a behind the scene or behind enemy lines segment every week before the game. Reach out and find other smaller creators that are, trying to get traction themselves, and just invite them on. And then, wouldn't be for the whole show, but they pop in, and then do a little bit there.
Now, the schedule will come out in May, but I mean, we already know the
teams,
the team. So I mean, we can reach out, especially the division.
Yeah. And also we'll have to wait and see, because there might not be a TikTok, but whatever other app comes up, whether it's Reels or whatever, then that's the other thing. I'll probably start piecing up some of the bits from the podcast and putting them up as shorts and stuff like that, and just we'll make a concerted effort to kind of build this thing, and maybe even have some fans on, listeners of the podcast, just have them, pop in. So same thing. Send them a link and have them pop on and get their opinion. Again, not likely to sit in for the entirety of the podcast, but we'll do a segment of some sort. Well,
if we do like the vet lines, that would be somewhere where they could call in. Anyway, just keep your eye out for some things.
It could be fun to do like Facebook Live or something. Then people can chat in the comment section too while we do that. But we got some ideas, and we'll just see what we can do with this.
Well, my friend, it's been a great season.
Sharing our misery, if nothing else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel so bad when I look at my boys because of what I brought them into. But my old Jaden's getting married this summer, and he's already seen shirts that says "I married into this" to give to his wife. So actually, his wife's name, her first name is Addison. So
God,
I don't even know if they watch it. So I might have to just get her a pink.
Gotta get her a jersey. Yeah, for sure.
Pink sure. Addison.
Well,
it's a wedding gift.
I got a ex-girlfriend that kind of swooped. I got her into the Vikings this year, so she texted me. She's like, "This is your fault." I'm like, "She just watched the game."
You don't have to watch it anymore. We're done. You don't have to keep.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you don't have to do it for me. So there's really no reason. She's like, "I'm vested now." I'm like, "Well, that sucks for you."
Yeah, it does. Sorry, but you could walk away. You don't really have to stay, because it's not a lot of fun.
Turns out I'm not done fucking you yet.
But one day it will be a lot of fun. One of these days, before we die.
We did become the losing his team in playoff history with that loss.
We did.
Yeah, I saw that graph today. Yep. Packers are fifth. Losing it. Yeah, we have the most playoff losses of any other team. So that's fun. Got that going for us, which is nice.
Really. Well, but okay, yeah, that's true.
The only 14-win wild card.
If you look at Detroit, they don't have as many because they never made the playoffs. So
correct.
I get that.
They're way down the list for sure. Yeah, I mean, the only way you're going to get playoff losses is to get to the playoffs. So that is that. There was another list I thought I saved and I couldn't find it. What was like how horrible it is just being a Minnesota fan, and it wasn't just football; it was basketball, baseball, all these baseball's like lose to the Yankees in the NCAA, and it was like,
we
lost to the Yankees so many
titles in 3 years, though.
Yeah, we're the only ones. Those and the Lynx, those are our
true.
only successes in this state. So the rest, and it's not like we're terrible. That's the thing.
Like we're always right there.
Minnesota sports teams are good teams. They're just not good enough. Yeah. And that's the rub. That's why we're the most cursed sports state.
Yeah.
In all of American sports. Yeah. Like we are the most cursed team. Not team.
We're good enough. We're good enough to have a great fan base, but not good enough to do anything with it.
We have all 4 major sports and very few titles. But we're always competitive. That's the rub. That's not the thing with Detroit is you're never good.
Yeah.
So it's like we don't share the same heartbreak. Your heartbreak is different. You're just like this could be an insult, and it's not actually meant to be. But if you take it so fine, because you're pissing me off anyways. But you're just not used to winning. Like it's a different kind of pain going into the season, knowing you don't get your hopes up. You know you're going to be trashed. You're not delusional. Like you don't even have the same delusion as Cowboy fans do. That no matter what, every year the Cowboys like, we did, boys. This is our year. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah. You're gonna be mediocre again, like you always are. But the Lions are just always
what?
Even mediocre.
We're kind of turning into the Cowboys. You know that?
A little bit.
We're kind of turning into the Cowboys. Like we're a great team. We're a good team. We're there. We're in the playoffs. Boom, we get bounced. Like we're kind of turning into the Cowboys. Like every year, it's our year. It's our year. But they have a Super Bowl. Well, they have a couple. I think they have a couple from the 90s, and it hasn't been that in our lifetime. They've had a couple. I think Troy Aikman had 2, maybe.
Yeah, in the 90s they had 2 or 3.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so they have them. But I'm just saying, in the last 25 years, since 2000s for sure, maybe even 30 years. I don't know when their last Super Bowl was, but that they're, a relevant team. Generally, they're right there. Dak, great quarterback during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, there you go. And it's
that's why when Lion fans are like, we deserve it. Nobody deserves it more. Bullshit. Vikings deserve it.
No. You deserve nothing. You deserve nothing. Yeah. And then jump up and be good.
To be trash, good for 2 years, win a title, and then bounce. And then go back to being a trash team. No, dude. Nobody's more deserving. Nobody.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the Bills.
Maybe the Bills.
And because they've been really good. They've had moments of greatness too that just fell flat. Same. Yeah. So nobody deserves this more than the Vikings fans for sure. And once before we die, it's not over. Man, for after a loss, I'm surprised that we went over an hour. But let's wrap it up. This is the last one for the 2024-25 season that you're gonna hear this.
See you bye
till September.
And I tell you guys I love you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And that will never change. I will ride with this group until they don't let us play anymore games.